Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with the next update for my project 10 uses. This is the project that I introduced this year because I want to rotate through my collection a bit more, and I want a bit more of a low-key project where I don't have like super high usage goals, and just one way to like roll in whatever I want to work on. And that's kind of why I decided to do this project. Even though I do have that kind of what I can pick, like whatever I want kind of aspect of this project, I also do have a random aspect of it. So I do have 4 products that I can pick myself, and that can be anything in my collection, but I'm tending to focus on like cheap products, that kind of stuff. And then I have 6 products that I randomized. 3 of them are single eyeshadows and 3 of them are lip products. So I'm going to go through with you where I am with all of my products today. But before I jump into that, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you in the family. Let's jump into the video. So first up we have a cream brush from Charlotte Tilbury, and this is the Glowgasm Beauty Light One in the shade Pinkgasm. This is one of my newer blushes in my collection. I got this one from my boyfriend for Christmas, and I really do like this blush so far. Of course, I do have a usage of 10 for this one, and this one has now been in for 2 months. And as of the last update, I used this one twice, and unfortunately, I wasn't able to reach for it 10 times in total. I've only used it 3 times actually in the past month, which gives us the total of 5 uses. I was really hoping to have this one out in the past month, but I've been panning a lot of other blushes and I forgot about it, and I spread myself a little bit thin when it comes to blushes right now. But that's okay, because again, this is more of a low-key project, but it's definitely a project that I want to have out for sure next month. I'm going to try with this project to have everything out at least within 3 months. And in order to do so, I need to use this one 5 more times, which definitely should be doable. I just need to remember to use this one and prioritize it over other blushes. Then the second blush that I have is this one right here, which is the Glowish by Huda Beauty blush in the shade Healthy Peach. This one is also a relatively new blush to my collection. I got this one a couple of months ago, I think in like November time last year. So I haven't had it in my collection for too long. Again, this one has been in for 2 months, and in the first month I reached for this one 3 times. So I had 7 more uses to go, and I'm happy to say that I have actually used this one 7 more times. This is what it looks like now. It doesn't really look very much used, but it's a beautiful blush. It's actually the blush that I'm wearing today for the 10th time. And I do really like how it looks. It's a bit more of a subtle blush, but it's a beautiful light peachy tone, and it suits my skin tone really well, especially now when I'm pale. So I have been really enjoying this one, but it will be rolling out now because I have hit my 10 usage goal on this product. Then third up for cheek products, we actually have a highlighter, and this one is from Kaleidos, and it is a Space Age Prophecy highlighter in the shade Mars Melter, and this is the original Mars Melter. They now have reformulated it, and it's slightly a different color, I believe. This is the original one, which is like a pink shifting highlighter. So this is another one that I was hoping to finish my goal on in the past month, but unfortunately I wasn't able to do that. I used it 4 times in the first month and 3 more times this month for a total of 7. And I've been using this one as a highlighter, but I just know that if I use this as an Unicorn highlight like 3 times throughout the month, I would have easily been able to have this out. But I did forget about it again. I used it a couple of times in the last week and got some more uses in, but yeah, it was just one that I forgot about. So I have 3 more uses on it, and again, this is definitely going to be out by next month, but unfortunately it is staying in for now. Then lastly, for my hand-picked product, we actually have an eye product. This is not an eyeshadow, it is an eyeliner, and this is the MQNY waterproof eye pencil in the shade Deep Brown, I believe. Yeah, Deep Brown. So this is basically a brown liquid liner, and I rolled this one in because I tend to not reach for liquid liners that often, and I also thought this would work really well with my palette, which is the Soft Glam palette this year, and it really does. But again, I do tend to neglect liquid eyeliners, so it's been a little bit difficult to remember to reach for, and in the first month I actually only used this one once. So not too great for the first month, and in the past month I reached for it 3 additional times for a total of 4 uses. So there's another part that's going to stay in, and I have 6 more uses to go. And if I'm going to try to like stick with my maximum 3 months in this project rule, I need to reach for it 6 more times in the next month, which I'm going to try to do. But again, I'm terrible with liquid eyeliners and I always forget about them, so we'll see how it goes with this one. But I just need to put it on like forefront in my makeup drawer so I can remember to reach for it, because it is an easy step to include. It can make like a tiny line, like a little flick on an everyday look. And I would easily have this out, but again, I just forget about it. So that is the last of my hand-selected products. So let's move on to single eyeshadows next. And again, all of these are randomized. The first product here has been in for 2 months, and the other 2 I wrote in at last update. But first up, we have this eyeshadow here from Terra Moons. And this is in the shade Chasing Comets, which is this beautiful kind of purpley shifting shade. It has like a blue toned purple base with a pinkier purple shift, which you might be able to see on camera there. And then it also goes into like a turquoise to a green shift, and it's really, really stunning. I did like this eyeshadow a lot, and in the first month it was in this project, I reached for it 3 times, so I had 7 more uses on it to go this past month. And I'm happy to say I did reach for it 7 more times, so I will be rolling this one out and replacing it with a new randomized single. It was a really, really nice eyeshadow to reach for. Yeah, I don't reach for purple looks too often, but I did include this as like a very small like liner on the top of my lash line a couple times. I did put it all over my lids a couple times too, also as like accent shades, that kind of thing, and that's how I got use out of it. But again, this one will now be rolling out. Then the other 2 eyeshadows that we have, again, they rolled in last month, and both of them come from Cleona. The first one we have is this one right here, which is one of their electric multichromes in the shade Niello. It is a beautiful, beautiful eyeshadow. It has like a bluish kind of base, hopefully you can see it there, with a bright kind of green shift that goes into like a turquoise, a blue, and then a purple. It's a really, really stunning one. It's very unique. It's very versatile too, because you can like sheer it out to have a very slight kind of very blue tone, like cool tone blue base. It can be very sheered out though, and then it goes into like this kind of really bright gold kind of bronzy shift, which you see straight on, and so you can wear it that way. I used it as a topper a couple times too, and then the kind of bronzy shade comes out, or like the gold reflect come out much more, and you can also like really build it up and get more of that blue base showing, and it's a really versatile shade, and I love this one a lot. I wore it a lot in like everyday looks, pairing it with neutrals, and it worked stunningly for that, even going to the office and things like that. So I really have enjoyed this. With all of that being said, I did reach for this one 6 times in the first month, and I was hoping to get that 10 uses in, but unfortunately I'm pre-filming this video a little bit because I'm going away from tomorrow, coming back on the 12th. And this video needs to go up on the 12th. So I don't think I can film it then. But if I didn't have to pre-film, I might have been able to use this one every single day up until my update and roll this out. But unfortunately, it's going to stay in a month, which is fine because it has only been in for a month so far. So I'm not too bothered about it staying in for 2. But that is the first shade. And again, that is Niello from Cleona. And then the second one is also a very similar story. This is the shade Gilding from Cleona, which is one of their series, no glitter, iridescent multichromes. It's a beautiful kind of inner corner highlight topper shade. I used it both ways. I can reach for this one a lot. I've actually paired it with Niello quite a few times too, because the shifts are both like that kind of yellowy golden kind of shift, which are really, really stunning. So they work really well together, and because of that, I also reached for this one 6 times. I did think I reached for this one a couple of times, like as a topper just on the lid. So I think like 2 out of 6 uses I did that. But then the 4 remaining times I did use it as an inner corner highlight paired with Niello, and that's kind of how I use this one. But again, this one was staying in with 4 more uses to go, and I have no doubt that both this one and Niello will be out by next month, so I will have 2 more singles rolling in at that point. So lastly, before we cover what is going to roll in, we have the lip products, and again, these are all randomized. First up, we have this Fenty Mini Lip Gloss in the shade Champ Stamp Fantasy, which is one of their gloss bombs, obviously. This one has been in for 2 months now. The first month I reached for this one 4 times. So I had 6 more uses to go, and I'm happy to say that I reached for this one 6 times. It's a really, really nice gloss formula. I really do love it. The shade is a little bit lighter than what I like going for, but it was still an easy shade to reach for, and I did reach for it these 6 additional times to be able to roll this one out. So since I have completed the 10 uses, I will be replacing this one with a new randomized lip product. Then for the only like kind of lipstick product that I have right now, we have lipstick from Colourpop in the shade Poppin', and this is one of their Matte X formulas. This is a very, very bright kind of pink shade. You can see it right there. And because it is so bright, I tend not to reach for this one too often. I had 2 uses on it in the first month it was in, and now for the past month I also reached for it 2 more times, so a total of 4. That means I have 6 more uses to go on this one, and I'm going to try to have this one out next month, so it's going to be a bit of a challenge. And this formula is also very kind of, it's a little bit drying, like it dries down. It's not super drying for me, but I feel like other people have found these a bit drying. However, they're just very, very long lasting, which means that I don't have to reapply this one very often. And that's also why the usage is so low, because even though, like, you know, I reach for this one a handful of times throughout the month, if I don't reapply, I will only have like 1 or 2 uses. So that is this product now. I'm going to really try to push for another 6 uses in the next month. but we're just gonna have to see how it goes. And then the very final product is another one of the Fenty mini gloss bombs, and this one is in the shade Fenty Glow Fantasy, which is this beautiful more kind of orangey tone you can see right there. So this one actually rolled in last month, but I did reach for it 10 times in this month because it's such an easy shade to pull on, because it's such an easy product to throw on. I love, again, the lip gloss formula. Like in the series, they are all beautiful, and this is definitely a color that I reach for more than the other one I showed you earlier because it has a little bit more pigment to it and it's not as light. So I feel like it can go with a lot of different looks, and it's just a very, very comfortable gloss to wear. So again, it was easy to reach for, and this one would also be rolling out. So with all of that being said, I'm going to replace the products that are rolling out, and for my handpicked product, which is replacing the Huda Beauty or like the Glowish blush, I'm replacing it with another blush, and this one comes from Pat McGrath, and this is the shade Divine Rose. It's one of the Divine blushes in the shade Divine Rose. It is more of a kind of plummy, kind of cool toned blush, which I think is going to be really nice because right now all of the blushes that I'm panning are basically warm toned. I mean, the Charlotte Tilbury Pink Gasm is a little bit more cool toned, but this is like the only powder blush that I'm panning that is cool toned, and it's also not like, I mean, even the Charlotte Tilbury one isn't like this kind of plummier undertone. So we're just going to give a nice variety to what I'm panning. So this is what I'm going to roll in for my hand selected products for 10 uses, of course. Then since I do randomize my other products, I'm going to go ahead and randomize the single shadow first, which is going to obviously replace the Terra Moons shadow. So let's see what I get. Hot Spice Cider from Terra Moons. So another Terra Moons shadow. That's fine. I'm going to randomize all the randomized things first and then pull them out to share with you, which means that I also need to randomize 2 more lip products as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do that next. We have Honey Love from MAC. Okay, that is another lipstick, but it's a nude shade, so that should be quite easy. And then the second one for lip products is going to be Love Life from Colourpop, which I think is a red. So I'm going to go ahead and get all of that, and I will be right back. So I'm back and I have all of the products. I went ahead and swatched the blush, by the way, there as well, which I'm rolling in. And there we have the eyeshadow, which I'm going to show you in a second. But yeah, that is the blush and the eyeshadow so far. And again, for the eyeshadow that I rolled in is Terra Moons Hot Spice Cider, which looks like this. So that is going to be the next shadow that I'm going to work on. I think it's going to be really easy. It's more of a neutral shade. It's like, obviously it's like has a green chip to it, but it has more of a brown base. It's like a green to slightly blue shift. It's really, really stunning, and I love wearing greens for every day. So it's going to be quite easy for me to incorporate. So that is the next product rolling in. Then for lip products, we have my MAC lipsticks first, and this is the shade Honey Love from MAC. And this is actually a brand new lipstick. I don't know if you can see there. It's actually completely brand new. And the reason why is because, well, it's not the reason why, but I had a backup of this in my collection. This is the first time, again, I'm swatching this specific bullet. But I did have Honey Love in my collection before, and I actually panned it last year. But then now I pulled out my backup, which I haven't used yet. So that is going to be that shade. Again, it's in more of a nude shade, which will be really, really easy to reach for. And then the final product that is rolling in is another lipsticks from Colourpop. And this is also one of their matte excellent formulas in the shade Love Life. Like I said, this is, of course, a red. I was right about that. And that is its swatch right there. It's a bit of a deeper red, but you can see it there. This is it in the bullet right there. So that is going to be the next thing I work on. We'll see how it goes. I don't wear red very often anymore, but I do love red, so it's going to be fun to play with one and have an excuse to reach for a red lip. But that is going to be it for my update today, you guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and I will catch you in my next one. Bye, guys.